Bonjour, it's Preppy. All right, so listen, man. T.I., Mr. Clifford Harris, Mr. T.I.P. All right, he is in the news right now. He's receiving backlash. All right, the reason being is because he has chosen in an interview to let the world know exactly what it is that he does as far as one of his fatherly practices. All right. And that practice that has received backlash is accompanying his daughter, his teenage daughter, to her gynecology visits. All right. And the reason why he does that is because he wants to make sure her hymen is still intact. For those of you who don't understand what that means, all right, a hymen being intact on a woman basically is one of the telltale signs of no sexual action going on, right? So she's a virgin. So T.I. is using his doctor visit as his chastity belt. All right, it's a mental one because I guess he, T.I. with all the money he has, I guess he can't afford still to put that actual physical chastity belt up on his child, but he's doing it mentally because think about it. If this is his logic, right? His logic is if this woman, this young lady, if she understands that I'm going to be going with her for her visits, then if she tells me she's a virgin, then she doesn't want me to find out that she's lying through the doctor, right? And of course, I'm sure, I don't know what kind of agreement they have as far as, because again, she's a child, so I'm sure he's paying for everything for her as far as her clothing, her food. I don't know if she's still living at home or if she's at school or if she is in school. And of course, I'm sure that Clifford is paying that bill also if she is in school. But so that's what's happening right now. And of course, the backlash is coming from this Babylonian society and its inhabitants. All right, specifically the feminazis. The feminazis, right? Those independent women who feel like no man should be able to tell any woman at any age, even a baby, right? A newborn baby, not even a newborn baby. He shouldn't be able to tell them what to do, right? They should come out wham, 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 and have their way. That's the way the feminazi feel, right? The liberal women, these liberal women who, feel like, the world, including men, have always had their boots on our necks, and now we're not having it, not even a little bit. All right, so that's what's coming out, and also, of course, some of the softer gentlemen, some of the guys in our population who are kowtowing to a lot of this Babylonian practices that's going on right now. All right. But yeah, so what happened? Actually, the interview that I have right now is the one that the Breakfast Club did. That's all right. That's I forgot exactly what radio station that is in numbers, but it's Angela Yee, Charlemagne, and DJ Envy, and basically they're gonna talk about it. And I'm gonna stop the video from now and then, just so you guys can know how I feel about it. All right, so check it out.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlemagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Now, if you just joined us, we're talking about T.I. Now, T.I. says during the interview, he said he goes to the gynecologist with his 18-year-old daughter every year to make sure she's still a virgin.
He said he'd been going with her since she was 16.
Since she was 16.
She's 18 now. I don't think that she needs him to go with him anymore. She's not a minor.
Well,
oh, there goes Charlemagne, starting up early. All right. Not to mention, all right, and it's just for good measure. Some of you folks don't know, Charlemagne, he's very interesting, all right, because he have a lot of these feminazis and these people, against rape and sex trafficking and things like that who come on their show, and Charlemagne's right there, and he's going back and forth with them, acting very empathetic and sympathetic, and it's because he has daughters, and that's the excuse he always uses, which is not just an excuse because he does have daughters, and I'm sure he didn't want any of those things to happen to his actual daughters that he has at home. But Charlemagne was in a situation back in the day where he supposedly drugged and raped some women. All right, so it's very interesting that Charlemagne has all these these things that he has to say that kind of goes exactly with what the feminazis and what the Babylonian society is saying, but nobody addresses that. Not even those people who come in, address that with Charlemagne. I don't know if they're not doing their research or if it's like drawn on the board that's a no-no not to touch that topic with Charlamagne. Because, you know, the way he has black women, black feminists, and black activists and stuff like that on his show. If they knew, they would come at his head. If it was permitted for them to do so, again, because if it's a no-no, you can't be on my show. If you do that, then that's one thing. But, you know, I think they don't know. All right, but again, Charlamagne says, you know, she's 18. She shouldn't have to need T.I. to go with her to the doctor anymore. Man, listen to this, all right? Age ain't nothing but a number, all right? And no sicko R. Kelly shit when I'm saying this. When I'm saying this, age ain't nothing but a number when it comes to your children, all right? Whatever age it takes for your children to reach a certain maturity to where you don't have to worry about certain things with them is when you should allow them to worry about that, all right? Now, again, you don't want 50, 40, I mean, let's be honest, but like 20s and maybe early 30, you know, just until they get their shit together all the way. Whatever you want to do with your children, man, do it. Do it. All right, because the opposite of doing that is them not having any guidance and them making bad decisions. And a man like T.I., who I see, I understand, who is funding a lot of these things that go along with his child, he's going to bear the brunt of a lot of those mistakes that she does make. She brings a child home. She's not working. She's not doing anything. Who's going to be taking care of the baby? Grandpa T.I. All right? So T.I. can accompany his child as long as he wants to. Charlamagne is totally out of pocket for that. All right? Let's return.
Play the audio.
We have yearly trips to the gynecologist to check her height.
Oh.
We'll sit down and the doctor will come and talk. And, you know, the doctor's maintaining a high level of professionalism.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, you know, sir, in order for me to share information, I say, Deja, they want you to sign this. Then they come and say, okay, I just want you to know there are other ways besides sex that the hymen can be broken. Bike riding, other forms of athletic physical activity.
Is she an athlete?
No.
All right, so let's talk about that. All right, first part, think about that, right? First part, it's T.I.'s child, all right? Even though in a society, your children are not really your children, all right? You are, and your children are assets, all right? We are all assets in the society. We're assets. We are money. We are the money in the society. There's no real money, all right? Everything that you see that you pay for, it's all fake, all right? You are the labor. You are the value, all right? And we all have social security numbers and birth certificates and things like that to prove that. But you are supposed to only watch over that asset until it becomes mature. All right? That's just the way it works. And they're trying to make that be the case at an earlier age in society. They're pushing that down lower and lower and lower because they really want to get to a point where kids have their decision. Kids are telling their parents what to do. All right? Because think about it. What do kids know? The reason why this society, this capitalist society, all right, pushes so many things at our women is because they know women are the weaker vessel, and women make decisions based upon emotion and other things that aren't very, concrete, aren't very sturdy. That's the reason why they do that. Now, who's next in line to make even more fragile decisions than the women? The children. All right, that's why they want to do that. So in this example, they have T.I. in the gynecologist's office. He's like, hey, you know what? I'm here being a good father. I want to just make sure that her virginity's still in place. You know, she's not out here being a hood rat, making bad decisions and stuff like that. That's just what it is. And they're like, no, you know what? Deja, we need you to sign this. So basically, if you don't want him to be here, if you don't want him to know this information, he doesn't have to know it. All right, just let us know. We'll help you out. Now, Deja, being the smart young lady I'm sure that she is, she understands that, that comes with consequences. You don't just tell your father, now, even if it was T.I., whoever it is, the person who's providing for you, the person who has been this large factor in your life, you don't just tell them, something against their will, especially if you guys have a prior understanding. Because think about it, he's there, he drove with her there for the purpose of doing this. So that's just this arrangement. All right. So that's number one, right? They're trying to, kind of put them against each other, give the children a decision that they really shouldn't have. Yeah. But part two to that is they're like, you know what, T.I., while you're here, trying to find information about the hymen, right? She might, that's not a good representation of if she's having sex or not. She might be. Is she a cheerleader? Does she jog? Does she ride horses? Does she do gymnastics? Does she do hair? Hell, anything could cause the hymen to break. T.I. All right, and bullshit. All right, I'm not saying that can't be the case. I'm not saying that that's not the case. All right, that might be the case, but again, I'm thinking about this from a traditional way. Back in the day, I mean, think about it. It wasn't no cars, so everybody got around horseback riding and shit like that. Everybody did manual labor for the most part and stuff like that. You know, think about that. The man who was giving his daughter away probably had a farm. She was farming. She was bending down. She was doing a lot of different things, chasing cattle around. Who knows? Hell, but tell you what, that hymen better not be broken when it came time for her to be given to that groom. All right, because here's the thing. Here's the kicker part about that, right? Back in the day, a man, his daughter was like his property. So is his wife. That's his property. So the exchange between the father to that other family was a exchange of property, right? And that property was damaged, being that hymen was broken. That made the whole family look bad. Because now you got this hoe. You got this hoe on deck. And you try to sell us a hoe. So you try to sell us some bad products. Right? That's how they're going to think about it back in the day. And what would happen is the father would have to kill the daughter to get his own honor for the rest of the family. Right? So basically, one monkey didn't ruin the show back then. Right? You had to be on deck. So again, they telling TIA, all these other things might have a case and have something to do with the time. And hey, I'm telling you what. For what T.I. sounds like he's doing being a traditional man, that hymen better be in place. All right? Especially, again, his answer was no. She doesn't play any sports to do all this extra stuff that they try to throw in. Right? Hilarious. Continuing.
Say, look, Doc.
She's not.
She don't ride no horses. She don't ride no bikes. She don't play no sports, man. Just check the hymen, please.
So what are your thoughts? 800-585-1051. Let's start with you, Yee.
Well, of course, everybody should know this, but having your hymen broken, not broken, that has nothing to do with your virginity. You
Correct.
can have your hymen intact and have had sex, and you can have your hymen broken and still be a virgin. And
Here's Angela Yee, a modern-day liberal Babylonian woman, comes in with her 2 cents. She finds the one chunk that she could find that would basically, give some type of validity to her bullshit. Her whorish mind. Because for those of you who don't know, Angela Yee's kind of a hoe, man. She's she's not a hoe I'm not saying she's a hoe within the frame of she's been with a lot of people, because I don't know. And I did some research. The only person they have linked to her is Plies. She's 41 years old. She's single. She doesn't have any children. But she does have a podcast called, I believe, Lipstick Alley or something like that. And she has other whores on the show. And they talk about a lot of horse shit. They have a lot of, the same guests that they have on the Breakfast Club. I guess when people come and they're doing it rounds, they go to stop at the Breakfast Club. And Angela's like, you might as well come stop at our show. And then the conversations are totally different. Like on Breakfast Club, it's actually about, Breakfast Club is bullshit too. But they asking about their, the career and what's going on. But Lipstick Alley, they asking about like orgasms and anal sex and fellatio and a lot of whole shit, a lot of stuff. You got 3 whores sitting around talking about horse shit, right? And not to mention, right, Angela Yee's mad at him right now, but Gucci Man kind of put it out there that Angela was kind of throwing the draws at him, right? And she got upset about it, and she had this whole, outburst about it, and, hit dog gonna holler. So that's how I feel about that, all right? But again, Angela Yee's throwing in her 2 cents, man, because she's trying to make herself feel better. She probably wishes that she had a dad like T.I. that would kind of, had probably gone to her gynecology visits and had some interest in preserving her hymen so that she wasn't bouncing up and down on Tom, Dick, and Harry. You understand? But that's the way it works. Angela Yee's 41, so she's getting close to the age where she will be maybe a woman who could give other women good advice. All right, because before that age, usually misery loves company. To tell a woman to do something that they didn't do themselves, they would have to admit, guilt and have accountability. And one thing that Babylonian feminazi liberal women don't have or don't do well is accountability. All right, continuing.
I think women should be able to control their own bodies. If she decides that she wants to have sex, then she should be able to do that without somebody interfering with her and telling her what she can and can't be doing. The other issue I had was he said he doesn't do this with his sons, right? So it's okay for his sons to do that and not micromanage their sex lives.
Your sons don't go to the gynecologist.
Right.
So that's the other tidbit she throws out, right? So she goes back to the book of independent women, which I can do what I want to do with my body and such. Even if somebody else is fitting the bill, you know, even if it affects everybody else, I can do what I want to do with my body. Even if it affects me and my self-esteem, right? The way these women are dressing, everybody's trying to keep up with each other, and that's making everybody else feel worse, right? Very interesting with them. But she's like, yeah, you know, I can do what I want to do with my body. And then she goes into a place of penis envy. You know, I don't see T.I. doing that with his sons, right? And Charlamagne jumps in really quick to correct her, like, you know, his sons don't go to gynecology visits, right? You know, and men, because they don't, you know, menstruate and they don't have, you know, a mechanism for telling if they're virgins or not like that, you know. Men are givers. Women are the receivers. Women are the weaker vessel. So that kind of makes what Angela Yee was saying a moot point. A very, very moot point. All right. It really shows that she has penis envy though. All right. Which a lot of these feminazi women do. Right? That's why they want to be equal to men. They want to be able to do what men do. They want to do the jobs and do all the stuff. So because they have penis envy. All right. Instead of just understanding that what it is that they do is essential and vital, you know, to the world, and you know they hold their own place, you know, in society, their own role in the household, you know, and it's just as important, equally important as the man's. They want to be men, and they're not built to be men, which is why they're unhappy and single, and you know, something like Angela Yee, right? Interesting.
But he doesn't also pressure them about not having sex. And he said that when he was asked about it in the interview, what he said, I will definitely feel different about a boy than I will about a girl. And he does not give the same level of scrutiny to his sons when it comes to their sexual activity.
Now, I touched on it earlier. The reason why he doesn't have that same scrutiny with his sons, right, is because the woman is the receiver. If his daughter gets knocked up, she has to carry that baby. She comes home, she's going to be pregnant. She's going to be eating all the food. You know what I mean? Not to say that the food is the issue, but again, she's going to be carrying the baby. She's going to be, the guy could just bounce out. Anything happens to the guy. And that woman, the woman is fully responsible for the child. All right? And if she has aspirations and goals and things like that in her life, that's going to slow her down. And that's one of the things that he's trying to protect T.I. from. I mean, trying to protect what T.I. is trying to protect his daughter from. Now, as far as his sons, Angela Yee with her penis envy, you know, they're the givers. A guy can knock up 1 million chicks. And, you know, again, that's not something that you want to do, because that comes with its own consequences, right? The judicial system and just having that, because, you know, every woman that you deal with is going to be a hardship for you emotionally. You know, they have their needs. They have that, all right? But again, they're not totally, you know, tied up to that child. You know, they don't have a pregnancy for 9 months and carrying this kid and do all that. That's just not how it works, right? So that's the reason why T.I. is not like, you know, oh, let's go to a gynecology visit for my son, you know, as if he could.
So to me, that's treating people like, of course, there's a double standard there, but you should be able to educate and have conversations with your children. And she's 18 years old. Even from when she was 16.
At the time she was doing it when he was
right, when she was 16, you should be able to have those conversations where you talk to your daughter about sex and sexual decisions that you want to make and what you decide to do with your body. Nobody else should be in control of what you do with your body.
All right, what do you think, Charlamagne?
I mean, I think it's a few things, man. I said number one, what T.I. shouldn't have done is share his family business with these digital D-heads, because now you're opening yourself up to a bunch of people having an opinion on you and your family, and family business should be kept within the family. That's
exactly what T.I. should have done. But if you understand, T.I. is a media whore, right? T.I. makes his money from the media. When's the last time T.I. has been like involved with music like that? I mean, I know he was managing Iggy Azalea and a couple other rappers, but he doesn't rap himself anymore. You know, when I see T.I. these days, I see him tackling social, being a ultra woke nigga, right? He's like attacking social justice issues and talking to Gucci and, you know, doing things like that when he's not beefing with Floyd Mayweather, right? But that's when I see T.I. T.I. gets paid to talk. That's why he has a reality show. I believe T.I. had one of the, not one of the first, if not one of the first, one of the, you know, when they really started getting them going, he had it for a while, the Family Hustle or something, if he didn't have one before that. And I believe Tiny had a show, and she had it with like Toya, Lil Wayne's baby mama, right? So listen, that's what it is. But so T.I. can't avoid that. He's going to let things be known, all right? And he needs to let it be known. That's a good thing, all right? Because we need to talk about these type of things.
Number one, right? But number two, we all know that, you know, we have fathers who aren't in their kids' lives at all, so we give them hell for that. So I'm not going to be upset at a father for being overprotective, because that's what this is, right? It's a classic example of a father being overprotective.
Bingo. But I won't use the term overprotective, Charlamagne. As we said before, every man has their reasons, right? every man has their reason for doing what they want to do. All right, you can't judge anybody. T.I. has his reasons for why he wants to go to the clinic with his daughter, right? And you have to respect that. And as long as he's not doing anything to harm his daughter or anything like that, I think it's no one's business until T.I. made it public, you know. But whatever.
Right. You know, and number three, you know, I have been doing a lot of work on myself. I go to therapy, but also have a spiritual advisor, a sacred purpose coach, and we discuss things like sacred masculine and divine feminine. And to me, this is a prime example of your internal.
And Charlamagne should be in therapy. You're a rapist. You rape women, you know, supposedly.
Sacred masculine and divine feminine energies being out of balance. See, T.I.'s sacred masculine energy is looking like toxic masculine energy because there's no balance, right? Because the masculine qualities T.I. is displaying here are logic and reason and action and being firm, and I would even say survival. But those qualities need to be balanced with the divine feminine qualities of nurturing, being gentle, emotional, and probably patience, because I don't think T.I. was wrong. I just think it needs to be a balance of both the sacred masculine and divine feminine, and that's just something that we all need to explore more of.
Well,
what is Charlamagne talking about? Charlamagne is one of these dudes, right? He wants to be like, you know, he wants to be up there with like the, you know, the woke niggas. He wants to be one of the woke leaders of the woke niggas, right? He wants to be so he writes books. I think his thing is, you know, his mental health. He always talks about how he's, you know, been through things, and he goes to a psychologist and you know, different things so he can deal with his mental, you know, because he does have mental, issues. It's obvious, right? It's very obvious with Charlamagne. If you watch him, if you listen to him sometimes, the things he talks about, he has things that he's dealing with. All of us are. Again, it's not a bad thing, but Charlamagne, when he started talking about all the divine feminine and divine masculine, that sounds like a lot of that feminazity woke bullshit. All right, and that's the thing that fogs up everything else. In this situation, we have tradition. T.I. is protecting the virginity of his child, right? Until she can make the decision that she needs to make. I mean, whatever arrangement they have, that's what he's doing it for. He's being a good dad. He's doing what traditional dads did centuries before. And as the Bible always says, go the old way, right? Go the path of the old way. Because when you don't, now you have today where we have all these Tatianas and single mothers and these kids that are messed up from it. And, you know, it's just too much going on, right? So all that jargon that Charlamagne's talking about, man, we have to make sure that, you know, we let that go through one ear and out the other. It's crazy.
well, I would say this. T.I. has the right to raise his daughter how he wants to raise his daughter. He is a father, and he is being protective. I do go to the doctor with my daughter. I don't ask the doctor if her hymen was broken, but I do go, and there's times where my daughter has to fill out the information to find out what's going on in my daughter's life. And yes, I am in my daughter's life, and yes, I will tell her don't have sex until she's married, but she can do what she wants to do, and I want her to be as open as possible with
and
me.
by the way,
Listen, you can be in your daughter's life, and that doesn't mean you have to go to the doctor with her and
Why
see if her
not?
hymen is intact.
By the
No,
way,
I'm saying that doesn't mean being in your daughter's life does not equal make sure her hymen's intact. And that does not mean I'm in my daughter's life.
Being in your daughter's life means doing what it is that you think that you need to do as a father, and that's different for everybody.
I understand what y'all are saying when y'all say that, but those are just semantics. At the end of the day, all of us as fathers are trying to keep our daughters from having sex
Until
for as
they're
long
married.
as possible.
Absolutely.
Right, that's just the truth to the matter.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, whether we're being overprotective about it or not, and I know eventually, I've said this on this radio several times, yes, my daughter is going to have sex one day. You know why? Because I'm having sex with somebody's
Right.
daughter. Envy, you had sex with somebody's daughter. We all married somebody's daughter. That is going to happen.
Right.
But if I can prevent her from doing that for as long as possible, I will absolutely try.
And I'm not. And
I would have
I'm
been
not gonna-
horrified if my father did that to me growing
I'm
up.
not
I would have
gonna
been
sit here and lie.
horrified.
I'm not gonna sit here and lie, but you know,
Angela, you may have a marriage and a child right now if your father had done that to you. But that's enough of that video, man. I'm gonna go ahead and close it out here. But at the end of the day, man, fathers, being a father to your son or your daughter, man, do what it is that you want to do, and understand that many of the things that you understand as logical and factual and, you know, reasonable in society are going to be looked at as, you know, crazy or you trying to have control of women or whatever it's going to be, because that's just how the society that we're in right now is handling, man. We're circling and draining this thing. We're in a Babylonian society, and it's almost over. These are the last days, ladies and gentlemen. All right, but that's all I got to say about that, man. Until next time, man, hit that bell. I'm out.